Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, we are almost at 28,000 subscribers, and we can get there with your help. If you want more Chiefs news, rumors, draft coverage, free agency as well, we'll have you covered all off-season long. Hit that big red button and subscribe. Less than 200 subs away from 28K. Share the link below, youtube.com/ChiefsTV, or just hit that big red button. You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's show. Want to get you guys caught up on the latest rumors and news, mostly rumor heavy on today's show, and a couple of trade heavy stories as well. We'll kick things off with story number one here. Is Kansas City going to trade for a wide receiver after trading away Tyreek Hill? Well, a report from ESPN's Dianna Russini suggests that the Chiefs are actively pursuing a trade for a, quote, top receiver, which is pretty interesting because you had a top receiver and you traded him. But if you come out net positive in terms of assets with draft picks, maybe you pay less on a new contract for whoever this player is, maybe it's a net positive. Here are some guys who have been linked to trade buzz, some more than others. DK Metcalf with the Seahawks, also Tyler Lockett with Seattle. I put him last because he has to be a post-June 1st trade. More looser trade buzz around Deebo Samuel and A.J. Brown. I don't think those guys are likely to get traded, but if you throw the house at those teams, maybe that could change. Stefon Diggs seems a little bit unhappy because he wants a new deal in Buffalo, as does A.J. Brown, who I mentioned in the last pairing with Deebo Samuel. It would seem like a lot to get any of these guys, but if the report is true, Kansas City is certainly pursuing a top wide receiver out there, and these are some guys that have been linked to just that. I will say this, trading Tyreek Hill, who was the perfect receiver for this system, to just go out and trade for another top receiver and then probably have to pay that person, albeit it probably wouldn't have to be $30 million, but maybe 20 or 25, would be a little weird, right? I mean, if you trade for DK Metcalf and then give him $23 million per year, okay, sure, you save $7 million, but like, was it worth it? I guess it depends on what the trade looks like. You got 5 picks for Tyreek Hill, including a late first and a mid-second. Maybe you don't have to give up that much for a DK Metcalf. You probably would not, but I think it's worth considering and something to keep in mind as Brett Veach navigates this through the next couple of days and potentially weeks. Name a wide receiver the Chiefs should either sign in free agency or trade for. I just mentioned 5 guys that they could trade for if they offer enough. Get your votes in down in the comments. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so go ahead and weigh in down below. Next up, we'll keep the trade stuff going. James Bradberry, the trade buzz continues to increase, continues to circulate between the Giants and the Kansas City Chiefs. Reports out there saying the Chiefs and Giants have been in talks. Some rumors suggesting that as well. I even saw a loose rumor on Twitter, I won't call it a report, saying that the Chiefs have offered a 5th-round pick for Bradberry, which doesn't sound a lot for a guy who's still a really good corner, but the Giants, it's pretty publicly known that they want to shed his cap and save $12 million, so it's not like they're going to get a first-round pick for him. 2021 stats, still really good. 17 pass breakups, 4 INTs, couple of fumble recoveries, always around the football. Gets beat occasionally, but makes a lot of plays as well. He can play in different schemes. He can press. He can play in cover 2, cover 3, and we know Spags at times will mix up the looks in the back end, so I think he would fit in well here. Here's what I do know. They're adding a corner. Kansas City is. They've been linked to Bradberry. They've been linked to Stefon Gilmore. I would be surprised if the Chiefs did not add a proven corner this offseason and then maybe draft one as well. I think Kansas City is serious about getting better in the secondary, and they need to after losing Charvarius Ward, who played really, really well in 2021. Now, Chiefs Kingdom, we are barely trailing the Raiders report on Rumble, so help us get there in followers. We just crossed 1,000 followers, good number here, but the Raiders report is at 1,227. It got 200 and some change on us. Help us out, help the channel grow, and hey, we can't be losing to Raider Nation. Rumble.com/ChiefsTV. That is the link. Go give us a follow. Link will also be in the comments and in the description of this video for more Chiefs unfiltered videos. Go check us out on Rumble. Story number 3 here is Ronald Jones, Rojo, going to have a big role in Kansas City. Well, certainly seems that way. Andy Reid said at the NFL owners meetings, he was asked about Ronald Jones. He said he's going to have a big role in the Chiefs offense, and that shouldn't really be that surprising, man. We saw Darrell Williams have a big role last year, and I like D-Dub, but Ronald Jones is more talented than him. Ronald Jones, just a couple of years ago, had a 1,000-yard season in his career, has almost 2,200 yards and 4.5 yards per carry, and he can catch the football a little bit as well. I think you might see the Chiefs run the ball a little bit more, and he's more explosive than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think there's a chance that Ronald Jones actually starts over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. CEH has had some injury problems. He doesn't have that next-level explosion. Ronald Jones had a 98-yard touchdown run a couple of years ago. Like, he can get to the second and third levels, whereas CEH is really good in short yardage, and he can find gaps where there aren't that big of gaps and get, turn a negative 1-yard run into a 3-yard run. He's really good at that, but he's not giving you a lot of 10, 20-plus yard runs, whereas Ronald Jones can give you some of that explosion you're looking for. I think he might play a bigger role than CEH, and I don't think you guys should be surprised if that ends up being the case, because CEH has been okay, but let's be honest, he has not lived up to that first-round billing. Who's RB1 in your eyes right now? Type RJ for Ronald Jones, Rojo. Type CEH for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to go RJ. I think Ronald Jones ends up being RB1 for this football team. CEH will have a role, especially in short yardage, but I think Ronald Jones is going to end up being the bigger running back for this team this year. I really do. Next up, and we'll wrap it up on this, the NFL has changed their overtime rules largely in response to that Chiefs-Bills playoff game last year where Chiefs tied it, won the coin flip, scored in overtime. Bills didn't get the ball back. Adam Schefter and every other NFL reporter broke the news. Both teams will now be assured of getting the football in overtime during the postseason per source. It is a good note there, the rule change only for the playoffs. So here's the rule change. Both teams get a possession no matter what. If you go score a touchdown, even if you go for two and get it, the other team gets the ball. If you kick a field goal, they get the ball. If you punt, they get the ball. The only scenario where they wouldn't get the ball is if you throw a pick six and the game's over anyway. But both teams get a chance. I do think it's kind of ironic that the Chiefs wanted this 3-4 years ago when they didn't get the ball against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game when New England won the coin flip, scored a touchdown. NFL owners, no, we're not going to change this rule. So, hey, the old rule was great when it helped Tom Brady, but when it benefits the Chiefs, we got to change the rule, right? In all seriousness, I think this is probably for the best. I think it should have happened sooner. It just doesn't make sense that both teams shouldn't get a crack at it. Second part of the rule, if both teams are still tied after two possessions, then it's just sudden death. One quirk I would have made is I think if both teams score and it's tied, I think you should flip a coin again. Because how come the team getting the ball second shouldn't get another equal opportunity to get the ball first when it becomes sudden death? Why should the first coin flip determine who gets the advantage? But we'll see. At least both teams will get a possession now, and that is probably what is for the best, even though it didn't change after the Chiefs didn't benefit from it back in 2018. So what do you think? Do you like both teams getting a possession in overtime? Do you like the new rules? Type L for like, type D for dislike, and remember, just for the playoffs only, old rule still applies for the regular season. All right, that's going to do it for today's Chiefs Report. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's show. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We're less than 200 subs away from 28,000. A huge number for us here as we continue to close in on 30K. We appreciate it, and we'll see you soon here on the channel.